Hey everyone, so Oscar award-winning Star Wars editor Marcia just recently came out and bashed, and I mean really bashed and trashed Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams over the really crappy job they did with the sequel trilogy. And I quote, she said, "They don't get it." So let's get into this. So here we have an article from Variety that says Star Wars editor Marcia slams Kathleen Kennedy, J.J. Abrams, and sequel trilogy. They don't get it. So for those of you who don't know, Marcia, like I said, is an editor for Star Wars. She was an editor on the original 3. She was uncredited in the last one, but she did a lot of really famous sequences. For example, she did some stuff for the Death Star, etc. And she also won an Oscar, so that's gonna amount to something. Now, Kathleen Kennedy, she is the current president of Lucasfilms, and she is the reason why the new sequel trilogy is all kinds of bad. J.J. Abrams is a film director who did the 7th and the 9th movie, so A Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker. So what happened was that Marcia was interviewed for a book on Howard Kazanjian, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He was a producer on the original trilogy, and he was also the vice president of Lucasfilm for a time. So if we look down here in the article, let's read the first paragraph. So this basically just sums up basically what this is about. Marcia, the Oscar award-winning editor for the original Star Wars, wasn't really happy with Disney's sequel trilogy. She said producer Kathleen Kennedy and director J.J. Abrams don't get it, and the storylines are terrible in an interview for J.W. Rinsler's book, Howard Kazanjian, A Producer's Life, which examines the prolific producer's life, including his time on the Star Wars franchise. Oh, it should also be mentioned that he was also a producer for some Indiana Jones films, which is pretty cool. So here's an actual quote, an excerpt from the book, so I'm gonna be quoting this right now. "I like Kathleen. I always liked her. She was full of beans, she was really smart and really bright. Really wonderful woman. And I liked her husband, Frank. I liked him a lot. Now that she's running Lucasfilms and making movies, it seems to me that Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams don't have a clue about Star Wars. They don't get it, and J.J. Abrams is writing these stories. When I saw that movie where they killed Han Solo, I was furious. I was furious when they killed Han Solo. Absolutely, positively, there was no rhyme or reason to it. I thought, you don't get it. The Jedi story. You don't get the magic of Star Wars. You're getting rid of Han Solo?" So that is an excerpt from the interview that she did. And if we look down here, there are some more quotes from the book. Let me find it. So this is about the deaths of some of the characters, primarily the original cast of the Star Wars series, who were all killed off. Han Solo, Luke, Leia. So if we read here, they have Luke disintegrate. They killed Han Solo. They killed Luke Skywalker, and they don't have Princess Leia anymore. And they're spitting out movies every year, and they think it's important to appeal to a women's audience, so now their main character is this female who's supposed to have Jedi powers, but we don't know how she got the Jedi powers or who she is. It sucks. The storylines are terrible, just terrible, awful. You can quote me. J.J. Abrams, Kathy Kennedy, talk to me. So basically, she's calling out the quote-unquote absurd woke culture that Disney has been adopting recently, especially with just trying to create this all-powerful female protagonist in Rey. Now, okay, there are good ways to write female characters, as there are good ways to write male characters, as there are good ways to write any type of character. But the problem with Rey is a Mary Sue from the beginning to the end. Even if it's revealed that, spoilers, that she is Palpatine's granddaughter, doesn't change anything. The entire story up to that point, it's just absurd. She just has all this powerful force energy for no good reason. She can use a lightsaber against a trained Sith Lord without any practice. That doesn't come from the Force. Now, of course, Force does help with lightsaber skills, but the thing is, the Force doesn't immediately snap and it makes you the best Jedi warrior ever able to defeat one of the most powerful Force users in the universe, Kylo Ren, in a lightsaber battle when you've never wielded a lightsaber before. Now, of course, she's definitely used weapons before, but you see her use a spear, not a sword. So where does she get these skills from? She was a Mary Sue. That's all there is to say. A horribly written character, very bad hero's journey, doesn't really amount to much. There's no satisfaction in her journey. You find out that she is Palpatine's granddaughter at the end of the 9th movie. At the end of this trilogy. There's no real conflict of that. The conflict is so rushed and artificially driven. It's just so rushed, poorly written, horrible. But yeah, this is what Marcia is calling out. She's calling out this absurd need for Disney to try to appeal to some sort of woke culture and try to appeal to this female audience, where primarily Star Wars has been a male demographic, a male-dominated series, a fandom. So primarily, Star Wars fans are gonna be men. Now, of course, I'm not saying that there aren't females, but the thing is, why do you think all these people enjoy Star Wars? It's not because, they're trying to appeal to a certain demographics, not because they're trying to fill some sort of gender or race quota. It's because it was a well-written story. You had good characters, you had really in-depth world building, all that stuff, but you don't get any of that from the new trilogy. Not at all. The new trilogy is just trying to recreate the feelings of the old ones, and let's be honest, Disney's goal with the sequel trilogy was not to make a good story. It wasn't at all. It was just to take a Star Wars franchise, an existing franchise that they can build upon, and sell merch. Like, Disney's entire plan with almost every single franchise they have is to sell merch. It has nothing to do with actually building good stories. Now, of course, they do build good stories. Don't get me wrong. But the thing is, any syndicated series they have and all this stuff, it's all about just making merchandise. There's not much else to really say about this. Like, we all know Star Wars sucked. Disney got a lot of flack for it. Rian Johnson, oh my gosh, don't get me started on him. That was pretty bad. Star Wars is just basically just a merchandise ploy for Disney, and they don't really care about building good stories. Now, in my opinion, what they could have done if they really wanted to make a really good trilogy, and I might do a what if of this someday, because I'm actually really interested in like recreating the Star Wars sequel trilogy with the existing characters that they established. I want Finn to be the main character, and I don't mind Rey keeping all of her absurd force powers, but I want Finn to be the main character and him to go through the hero's journey. And he doesn't even need to be the final one to win everything in the end, but it would be so much more interesting to follow the story of a redeemed stormtrooper. That would be so much more interesting than just following some random chick in the middle of the desert planet who just happens to be all powerful for no reason. Comment down below if you guys want to see that. If you guys reach let's say 100 likes in this video, that's a really big goal, but I've never reached that before, so I'll say 100 likes. If you guys get there, I will definitely make this what if. Also, another option they could have done, they could have definitely taken some of the old Star Wars, the old Legacy universe with all of the Yuzhong Vong Wars. You have Han and Leia's children going to study under Luke, and Luke having his own kids, and Luke getting married. You have so many different storylines they could have done, and they decide to get rid of all this amazing world building they did in the Legacy universe, in the Legacy timeline. And they decide to get on with this new sequel trilogy that doesn't really work out well. This ended up being more of a sequel bash than it was an actual review of this article, but point being, Marcia Lucas, ex-wife of George Lucas, Oscar Award-winning editor for the Star Wars trilogy, bashed on Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams, two key important people in the sequel trilogy, for their horrific and horrifying job they did at ruining Star Wars. I really hope that Disney manages to fix what they did and actually comes out with some good content in the future, especially Star Wars related content. They are doing well with The Mandalorian, and I'm excited to see what else they come out with. So there is hope. Don't get me wrong, there is hope, and I am hopeful for some good stuff in the future. Anyway, for those of you who are still here, thank you for sticking around. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button down below, click that sub button and the notification bell to keep up with content in the future. And if I manage to get to my like goal, I will be doing a what if of Star Wars recreating the entire storyline with Finn as the primary protagonist, which I think will be really interesting. So yeah, comment down below what else you guys want to see from me, if there's anything interesting that you guys want me to cover. But yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you all next time.